getting the information to the dealer more smoothly. This is a lead score that's attached to it. This is their information. This is the product or the service that they're interested in. That one-way bridge, the first thing that has to be built, right? If you do anything, if you do not have this like automated system to get a customer's information from the OEM over to the dealer, that's the thing you build first.
Welcome to The Inventory, the show designed to give OEMs and dealers like you actionable insight on channel marketing. From co-op programs to product portfolio design, we'll arm you with the information you need to excel, to enter new markets successfully, to build lasting OEM dealer relationships, and ultimately to move more inventory. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to The Inventory. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about OEM and dealer technology and how to make them work together, why that matters for both the OEM and the dealer, and the kind of value that both sides of this equation are going to be able to derive from making that connection point happen. We'll also cover a couple of options for getting that technology in place, and those will range from more upmarket enterprise level software down to things that you can do on the ground for a lot more of an efficient spend level. So hope you enjoy. All right, Dustin, let's talk OEM and dealer tech.
Let's do it.
What is the missing piece? We've been doing this for a long time inside of this environment. What is the consistent missing piece that you're surprised by inside of the technology stack between dealers and OEMs?
You know, it's the bridge. And I'm going to tell you what the bridge is by telling you what I am shocked. Well, I'm not shocked anymore, but like the thing that we used to think was like, oh, there's no way that our dealers are going to have sophisticated CRMs. They're not using HubSpot. They're not using Salesforce. Well, I'll be damned if they are, right? They are showing up sometimes even more sophisticated than the OEMs. So in today's environment, especially with all the things that you see coming out with AI, with all the availability that we have around tools, this ability to have a bridge between the OEM's softwares, their ERPs, their sales softwares, their marketing automation platforms, their lead delivery, and the way the dealers are receiving that. That bridge is now the missing piece that really enables value between the lead handoff from OEMs to dealers.
Cool. You started to touch on it there, but if I'm sitting in the OEM marketing director seat, or I'm sitting in the likewise seat at the dealer, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't think I have that, but what does even having it enable me to do?
Yeah, so there's a twofold thing there, right? Like getting the information to the dealer more smoothly. This is a lead score that's attached to it. This is their information. This is the product or the service that they're interested in. That one-way bridge, the first thing that has to be built, right? If you do anything, if you do not have this like automated system to get a customer's information from the OEM over to the dealer, that's the thing you build first. Automating that speeds up lead delivery, which then helps salespeople contact these people faster. But the cool thing is once that groundwork is laid, a bridge can be two ways, right? And so once we start to build that bridge back this way, that bridge can have things in it like warranty or sales registration, which then helps us close the loop on information that came in, a sale was recognized, and now we know these dollars spent in sales and marketing actually led to a customer, which is helpful. A lot of times dealers are like, I don't want you to steal my customer. I'm going to send your information back. But this is super helpful for them because it helps us find more like-minded people. It means our targeting is going to be better. It means the lead quality is going to be better. Like that sales recognition piece that we talk about all the time. Like if we can't get that sales information back from the dealer, how are we going to improve targeting? How are we going to improve lead score? And it's really not that hard, right? There are platforms like if the OEM already has a Salesforce or a HubSpot, you could invite the dealer into there and set it up through the CRM. Or if they've got their own platforms, you can create a bridge like Make or Zapier to send that data back and forth. There's also tools out there like Aimbase that does this. It's basically what their platform does. It exists as the bridge. They have API connections that let the dealers hook their CRMs immediately into the system. Now, there's still a learning curve. We got to entice the dealers to like want to connect the things. But if the OEM goes first and they're starting to see that value being delivered to the dealer, then you can start to ask the dealers to participate for the value that, again, you as the OEM is going to be able to deliver back to the dealer: better targeting, better leads, better sales.
Yeah, you started to touch on two things I think we should hit on, because if I'm putting on my skeptical hat for a second.
Sure.
And I'm thinking about this sharing of data. There's two concerns I have, one from a dealer standpoint, and I think one from an OEM standpoint. From the OEM standpoint, it's, you mentioned you can give them access to your system. So you talked about, hey, if you've got a HubSpot or a Salesforce, something like that, you can invite the dealer into your instance.
Sure.
I'm going to stay there for a second. How do you ensure you do that in a way that enables user privacy appropriately and also doesn't give away data from your systems that you don't mean to, or make them like susceptible from a security standpoint?
Permissioning, right? Like, especially if you're an OEM, you can afford the big platform, or a bigger platform, maybe not the biggest ones, but they've all got permissioning within them. You can set up parameters that says, keep my dealer A's data from dealer B's data. So there's a way to do that for sure. And that's a promise that you can make back to them to say like, hey, we're going to make sure things don't cross-pollinate, so to speak.
So not really a big issue.
No, not anymore. You know, like 10 years ago, yeah, but now, no. Like, it's just built into all systems, especially in our day and age with like GDPR, with bring your own device security measures, like all of these software platforms that are usually the things that the OEMs are using. I mean, especially today, we see people adopting Adobe and Microsoft. Those things are made to make sure that those privacy barriers stay up. Like, it's built into the systems.
Yeah.
So that permissioning is pretty easy to set up.
Yeah. And then you talked about the dealer oftentimes feeling like, I don't want to give that back to the OEM because they're going to take my customer. It's my customer now.
Right.
There's this question, and we've had longer form content talking about like, well, whose customer is it?
Right.
We'll skip the pontificating about whose customer it is, but you started to touch on some of the benefits of a dealer giving it back to an OEM regarding targeting and whatnot. But if I'm a dealer, I'm still thinking, well, that generates maybe a new sale later, but I make my world and my value, or rather like the way I make my business work, is off of service and parts, right? So is there anything OEMs can be doing to provide value in that avenue that you think about for the dealer?
Specifically with this bridge, yeah, because if we now know that Joe has come in and he is a customer, he is this dealer's customer, then I can switch from trying to market to him, or I can switch from trying to nurture him to now I'm going to switch to reselling him, right? Okay, great. You're now a customer. Your customer journey started this day. You're day one. You've got a warranty checkup, or you've got a service checkup, or multiple different ways, right? And if the product is quality, then there shouldn't be any like hurt feelings over, we're going to contact them at 90 days, 180 days. How do you love your new product? Anything we can help with? Don't forget to schedule your maintenance thing or whatever, right? And then if we know what our sales cycle looks like, which is, again, if you're giving us back the sales data, we know what the sales cycle looks like, we can actually help automate communication that says 90 days before people typically repurchase, we're going to turn the funnel back on. We're going to start warming them up. We're going to start owning and paying to warm them up as the OEM 90 days beforehand or 180 days beforehand. And then when it gets to like 45 or 30 days beforehand, we're going to say, hey, remember that great dealership that you've already got a relationship with, that you're like, they've got a new model year 2028. So why don't you go buy this one, right? We often think about the OEM sells to the dealer, and it's now the dealer's job to go sell to the customer. But we are savvy consumers. Like when we buy cars, we know we buy a Chevrolet from local Chevrolet dealership. Like in the OEM to dealer environment in B2B2C or in these other environments, whether it's heavy equipment or boating or RVs, it's the same way. We have the same brand affinity as well as the same desire for a localized relationship where we have someone we know and trust that we can buy from and that can service the vehicle. If the dealer and the OEM can kind of get away from a little bit of the fear of like sharing the information, you're delivering a much more delightful experience to the consumer, who's going to continue to vote for you because you're giving them that experience.
Element 3 is a full-service marketing agency that bridges the gap between OEMs and their dealers. For more insights on how to go to market well in the dealer model, head to element3.com.